I think his first name was Meta, but yeah,
Wow.
he's changed his first name to World Peace.
He's an idiot.
Hunger Games.
Yes, yeah,
Hello.
yeah. We all saw Hunger Games this week. Chris, you saw it yesterday.
Yes, I saw it yesterday evening with my sister and her husband.
But this movie was fucking packed. I've never seen a theater this whole time we've been doing this show. I have not seen it this full. I literally went into the theater. I don't know if your theaters are set the same way ours is, but they kind of come out the sides, and you kind of, you're going through basically like a football tunnel. Mm-hmm. And when you come out, you're at the base, where the bottom floor is, and then you turn around and you see the stairs going upwards to all the bleachers. And for us, packed. So we looked in front of us. We're like, fuck it. We're sitting in the flat row, in the very front, and we picked one of the side rows. So this was a horrible mistake because I didn't know this movie was 2.5 hours long, and I spent the whole movie looking up and to the left.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, see, I felt genuine rage during this movie. If there hadn't been so much killing going on screen, I'd have been doing some myself. This was filled with the usual annoying teenagers that pay all that money and don't actually pay attention to the damn film.
Yeah, our theater was a little bit loud, but it wasn't too annoying.
I had a baby in my theater. Someone brought a goddamn baby in to see Hunger Games.
You shouldn't be able to bring kids up under the age of 5 into a theater.
I can't. I don't know why you'd bother. All you're gonna do is put fucking earmuffs on that baby and try to blind it, see sensory deprive it, and hope it goes to fucking sleep. It's not gonna enjoy the movie. It's not gonna be like, Lenny Kravitz really did a good performance this time. No, it's a fucking baby. It's gonna cry because there's loud noise going around.
Put a little whiskey. Give him a little whiskey.
I discovered that your average teenager is, it refuses to work with anything unless it's being a dick. Mm-hmm. Some random person in the audience just coughed, just cleared his throat. From up behind me to my left, right down the front to the right. Shut the fuck up!
Oh, what they were doing, the one person cough, so it's all cough in a chain thing?
Yeah, basically chained all the way around the goddamn for about a good 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Yeah.
So we all had pretty bad movie experiences.
I don't want to say mine's bad, but this is definitely a much different theater experience than I generally have because there are actually people at my movie.
Yeah.
This is the movie that allows me to understand why the fuck my theater stays open all year round. I don't know how you guys stay in business. And I'm like, because fucking Hunger Games comes out and you sell out 3 fucking showtimes happening concurrently.
Oh, you only had 3 theaters showing it, or 3 screens?
There were probably more.
We had 6.
But I mean 3 going on at the exact same time, starting at the exact same time, within 10 minutes of each other.
We had 6 going out of 12.
Yeah.
I think mine. I don't know how many individual screens they have because they rotate it. But this film was starting at least, obviously taking into account how long it is. This film was starting on the hour every hour.
Yeah. Was there any? There wasn't 3D for this movie.
Yeah, there was. Right now, the thing says IMAX 3D. The thing I have up on the.
Yes, it's 2D in normal cinemas. But I think it's only IMAX in 3D.
Oh, okay. Because I was saying, I don't remember there being 3D showings at my theater. But it was an interesting experience.
Chris, give us the rundown.
So, Hunger Games: Catching Fire is the sequel to the first Hunger Games movie that came out last year, starring Jennifer Lawrence. This movie picks up with the last one left. Do you need a tissue or something? But the last film left off where, spoilers for the first Hunger Games, if you haven't seen it, Katniss lives. The Hunger Games, and now they are on their tour around the 12 districts to celebrate their victory. But upon doing it, they see that there is revolution brewing among the districts, and President Snow is none too happy about that. So to quell this uprising, he has issued a new Hunger Games featuring a brand new twist on the rules that is going to place a lot of unhappiness amongst the people, and is going to put Katniss. I mean, fuck it. If you've seen the trailer, you know she's in the goddamn Hunger Games again. So she's fucking in the Hunger Games again. So it's Katniss back in the Hunger Games, and the games are more lethal, more terrifying, and the contestants are
silly.
much stronger.
But you know what? Chris, we had our call after the movie after last night. I actually warmed up to this movie more than I did when I first talked to you.
Okay.
I other than the length of this movie, which is ridiculously long,
2 hours 38 minutes. This is almost a 3-hour long movie.
Yeah. I believe there could have been things cut from this, and it would be fine. I don't think it needs to be that long, and I think that's my only gripe to this movie.
I actually don't mind the length because I had
Of course you don't, Chris.
I watched the first Hunger Games. I only watched that Friday night is when I got the chance to finish it.
Mm-hmm.
So I basically came into Hunger Games 2 with Hunger Games 1 right on the mind. And I had a lot of problems with the first Hunger Games. I thought it was really poorly paced. I didn't care much for the director at all. And a lot of those problems that I found in it were fixed in the second one. I think because the movie, even though it was long, I thought it was expertly paced.
I actually think it had a different director.
It's a different director this time. They got rid of the first one, thank God. I just felt the movie flowed a lot better when the actual Hunger Game itself comes around. The characters you meet, you actually get to experience them, so you actually have an emotional attachment to them, which is what the first one didn't have.
And I don't know if this... In this one, they have more... There's more of an alliance-y type thing going on than in the first one.
There's more of a story to the game itself than there was in the first one, yes.
So, of course, you're going to get to know the champions a little better.
But the way they paced it, because they could have...
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, they just paced it better for me to be able to get these characters, to understand their stories, and to follow up on them.
Well, as I said in the warm-up we've just been doing there, the problem with this film is that it's basically taking that middle segment. It's not to compare it to one of the other great trilogies. Like you think something like Star Wars. Everyone says, well, you know what I mean. Everyone said Empire. Everyone initially said Empire.
Shut.
Okay, trilogies that are telling an overlying story. A lot of people say the middle one is the slowest because it's basically. It's the exposition entry.
It's the exposition dump for the third movie.
It is, yeah. So it's got to have all the fallout from the first one, and then got to set up the climax in the later films.
I think they do it very well.
Yeah.
Oh, I absolutely agree. I loved the story in this one. I thought it was much better than the first one. I thought they kind of hit the points they needed to a lot clearer. I kind of was able to get a lot more of what they were trying to go for with the revolution and everything like that, and setting up what this movie's real critique is, and that's our modeling, artistic sort of substance over or style over substance, big drama, reality television, that sort of culture, a big critique of that. And I thought this movie did a lot better job of that. While then introducing, hey, let's have a whole bunch of people kill each other as entertainment.
Yeah. Off screen.
So, it's a little bit off screen, but it is a PG-13 movie still, so you still don't get a whole lot of
gore.
Yeah.
Well, there's no gore, there's no blood in this movie.
No.
Yeah.
Like I say, I've come into this having read the books and knowing all the ins and outs. They have left a lot out of this from the books. Some of it I understand why. It's not necessary to the story. If you want to see the full length of it, go read the books. It's not really spoilers, but there's a whole bit with the when they're getting ready for the tour. You briefly meet the makeup crew again from the first film that work under what's his name? Cinna, Lenny Kravitz's character. Mm-hmm. In the books, they go into quite detail of how Katniss starts to tolerate these. She hates anyone from the capital, but she realizes that they're mostly harmless. It's just that's how they've learned to live, and that's the way they are. And she ends up basically starting to like them. This they kind of get rid of. They've had a little scene where they greet again, but then it's really forgotten. And there's a couple of other bits I'm going to go into in the spoilers as well.
Yeah, because I think if you go stuff into the book, then people who are watching maybe want to know if there are pieces in the book or something like that, or in the movie.
Yeah.
So we don't want to get into that spoilers for that end, though.
There is one thing I could definitely agree with that, and that Elizabeth Banks' character, Effie, whatever her fucking name is.
Finally gets Effie Trinket, that she's the peacock, the one that's always dressed.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate her.
She did a very big change in this movie. In the first movie, she was just kind of there. She was just sort of like this flowery, over-the-top character around.
She didn't even get a name in the first film.
Yeah, in this movie, she has a much different role, and they kind of
Well, they give her a little story in this one, basically.
What you were saying with the makeup crew, I think they basically, I mean, it's probably in the book too that this still happens, but I think they basically said, we're going to be able to get that across with Ify, that we probably don't need to have this in the movie. Because, I mean, it's a minor spoiler, but shocker, Ify's around and they don't hate the shit out of her.
Again, they didn't really do it in the first film, but Effie's whole role in this is she's the governess of the charges that get picked from every district has one, and she's responsible for them while she's in the capital. So they're her charges. So in the second film, it actually goes into it a lot more, where she's got pride in them. She's showing them off. She's promoting them and doing all this, and she's proud that her district's finally won and all this sort of stuff.
Well, I like the whole thing where she's going about the whole we're a team thing.
Yes,
they actually gave her a full story.
Yeah,
basically.
They made her likable because the first movie she's just kind of annoying because she's she's dressed up in this big stupid makeup and she's constantly just kind of nagging everybody. But in this movie, when they added some humanity to her and they got across that there's an actual person behind this, and that's what you say. Like there's people out there who are like this, but Ify's not a bad person. She just grew up in a culture that's completely different than what the district kids grew up with.
She's a little bit fucked up in the head.
So you grow to like her a lot more, and that's one thing. The acting in this movie, I think across the board is either great, and if it's not great, it's at least good.
Well, like guys Lenny Kravitz, who don't have that many lines, amazing.
Yeah, they're great.
He's got tremendous weight with everything he says for a non-actor, so to speak.
Lenny Kravitz, Woody Harrelson, Jennifer Lawrence. The only person who I was kind of like on is Peter Mallory's character, whose name I can't remember.
Josh Hutcherson.
Josh Hutcherson. And it's not because of Josh. I just don't like the character very much. He's still too much of a kind of a light in the loafer, kind of wishy-washy dude for me to really care about him. But I outside of that, everyone else, I love the characters, and I like the directing and acting that they all put forward. I thought everybody was great and kind of kept things sharp and tight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had no problems with acting in this movie. I thought it was pretty spot on.
The two things the two problems I've got with the whole thing around this movie is its comparison to two other films. One is the obvious one is Battle Royale. But literally there is no similarities between this and that film other than it's an arena with kids killing each other. That is it.
Well, they're not so much kids in this movie.
Exactly, which is why he's starting to move away from that. The other comparison, obviously, is Twilight, because it came out around about the same time.
I see no comparison to Twilight.
And there is a romance between young teens. It's between teenagers. And thankfully, it's basically just turned around to that whole crowd and said, fuck you, and moved on, and there's no comparison now. It's a far better film.
I didn't think there was one.
Back when it first came out, it was about the same time as one of the Twilight films.
Yeah, but just because they came out at the same time doesn't mean they're comparable.
Dude, everything was getting compared to Twilight when it came out and had anyone under 20.
Well, it's because they're all idiots.
It's basically a kid's book. Well, not kids, but young teen book written by a woman that stars a female lead character that has a love triangle in it. So a lot of people could make the comparison, but I think the huge difference
you know what the big thing is that the female lead in this movie is amazing.
Is fucking good. She's actually a good role model to fucking young girls, as opposed to being like, I lost my boyfriend, I'm gonna go jump off a cliff.
Hey, that is far too much emotion for that role.
No, you gotta play it like Scott. Oh no,
Chris, far too much.
Oh no, an accident.
I'm sorry, but I'm still detecting the indifference.
You need to be like fucking Mr. Freeze in the Batman animated series. I just need to drain all the emotion out of you. But yeah, no, I really like this. I like the character Katniss in this movie. I think she's a great character to follow. Jennifer Lawrence is, I think, the absolute right character to play. It's weird because she's in the previews for American Hustle. She's a character in that, and she was Mystique in X-Men. And it's weird because in those movies she seems like an adult, but in this movie I see her and I still kind of feel like she's like a teenager in this.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the movie or the game Last of Us?
Mm-hmm.
I always think that she'd be a good role for playing the kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If the kid was a little bit older.
Yeah.
I think she'd be spot on for something like that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The only thing is, she's kind of stuck in this. I need to play people that look younger. Without
really.
actually being younger.
Have you actually seen Silver Linings?
No.
Lions Playbook, yeah. Well,
Silver Linings Playbook. Go watch that. She's fantastic in that.
Well,
does play a much older character in her late 20s.
I saw much older. That's like 4
Well,
years. I saw the previews for what's the next movie she's out in?
American Hustle.
I saw the preview for American Hustle, and I was like, this movie looks awesome.
Yeah, and she looks really good in it too. Like,
I
she
like
just
the
says
dress
in
she
one
was
line,
in.
like, don't repeat this, but your dad's a sick fuck. Daddy's a sick fuck. Yeah. Don't ever say that again.
I really like the dress she's in that movie.
It's because it's low cut and you see her titties bouncing about everywhere.
Maybe.
And she's crying.
No, not so much.
Oh. Thought that was the angle you were going with. All right.
But let's get back into the actual movie here. I really can't think of anything that's actually negative really about this movie other than its length. But then again, what could you actually cut out of this movie to actually make it? Do you think stuff can actually be cut out of this to actually make it make sense, or longer and still pull off everything that you guys like about it?
Again, I'm gonna if I start talking about what to make it longer, it's gonna be spoilers. But
No, what can make it shorter? But
what can make it shorter?
I think you could shave at least 15 to 20 minutes out of this movie.
No, I couldn't cut any of that stuff out. There's like maybe small little bits I'd cut, but nothing that'd be substantial enough to really drastically reduce the time. It's a long movie, but I feel like it's long for the right reasons.
Everything I'm thinking of would be like, well, they could do, but no, but that does that.
Everything has a purpose. Like,
Yeah.
it's just like, well, that was such a fucking waste. Like, maybe the only thing I'd ever cut would be when you fucking watch her patching that old lady's eye up. That's about it. After the fucking thing in the courtyard. But after that, no. I mean, that was only like a minute-long scene anyway.
Now, here's the thing. I had a problem with the first one because I don't like the aesthetics of this world. I don't like the Victorian goofy shit. And to me, it seemed very toned down.
Oh, yeah.
We still got it. It still came across.
They
But it wasn't as
explain
in your face in this one as it was
They kind
the
of
first
explain
one.
that in the books. In the capital, you notice with Effie, a costume changes almost every scene.
Mm-hmm.
That's how the capital operates. They distract.
Well, I know that.
They distract the citizens of the capital from what's going on in the districts. In the districts they cut off all communication. In the capital, they don't give them any information and distract them with all this, hoity-toity
Shiny stuff.
Yeah.
shiny
I mean,
stuff. Yeah. So
I get
because
that.
because it's so fashion-based, fashion changes almost constantly. So one year they'll be wearing powdered wigs and and Victorian stuff. The next it's anything.
Techno psychedelic shit.
Exactly, yeah. And all of the buildings and stuff, obviously, you can't really change those. The people and the setting changes almost constantly.
But yeah, I just don't like the Victorian crap. I
Yeah.
think it was just overdone in the first one.
Mm-hmm.
It was just too in your face. With this one, I felt they toned it back some. And they still had the Victorian overtones and stuff like that.
Yeah.
all throughout it. But I just didn't feel like it was being shoved at me.
That's probably it's probably going to be because of a different director, if nothing else.
Yeah, well, that's one thing I wanted to note is I really, really like the new director in this one, Francis Lawrence, because my problem with the first one is that this is a movie that has a big world it's trying to show us. It has a huge, elaborate sets. It has these big costumes. It has a lot of CGI work going into it. And then the director was like, all right, every shot's going to be from a character's shoulders up.
Well,
And
so you're actually going to be glad that this guy is actually doing the next two.
Yeah, I'm extremely glad because this guy pulled the camera out, and that added a lot of size and scope to the world. There's a lot of moments where he's like when they're riding into the Capitol, where you get to see how big the Capitol is because he's zoomed out. You're able to see everything.
Yeah, rather than looking down that one causeway, whatever it is.
Yeah, it's like there's actual scope and scale. Like I think they were talking about it. The first time she enters into the arena, because the camera pulls out and sort of swings around her, you get this size of scale to how huge this Hunger Games arena is, and that helps a lot in making the movie a lot more immersive and feeling impressive.
I never would have guessed this is the guy who directed I Am Legend.
Really?
Yeah. I hated that movie.
I think that might have been... Yeah.
That might have been
He
script.
learned. Well, he did that. He did his 2 director credits. Only movie credits, I believe, are I Am Legend and Water for Elephants.
And Constantine.
Oh, there it is. Ew, Constantine. That movie was terrible.
No.
Wow, he took a big jump up.
Don't get too upset. We got another Keanu Reeves movie this year.
It's coming.
Yeah, but at least it's not directed by him. I hope. No.
As long as it's not written by the same person.
Yeah, I do. I honestly do think things like I Am Legend. That's the thing with films. You can blame. You can say, "Oh, everything this guy directs is ass," like you can with Michael Bay.
No, everything Michael Bay directed is not ass. You got to go back to the '90s to find other stuff that he did that was good.
And then he realized the explosions and dog thumping.
That CGI is cheap, so he did it.
Yeah. But there's a lot of things that go into it. It's directors, it's writers, it's this and all this. It's cast sometimes. CGI. I mean, I admit that I actually like I Am Legend, apart from the look of the Dark Seekers, whatever they're called. But anyway,
the zombies or the vampires, whatever they're supposed to be. They were written as vampires, but they came off as zombies in the game, in the movie or something like that.
How they got dealt with in that was awful.
Yeah, I heard the writer wasn't too happy about that movie. But there was one thing. What's his name? I don't want to say it and be wrong. Woody Harrelson. I almost said Owen Wilson.
Oh, yeah.
I have a problem with Woody, but I didn't have a problem with him in this movie. For once, I didn't have a problem with.
I can watch almost anything Woody Harrelson's in.
I think he's gotten a lot more. I think he's gotten a lot more diverse and better in recent times, which I think has helped to kind of make Woody Harrelson a lot more likable of an actor.
Yeah.
I liked him in Zombieland.
Yeah,
I liked him here.
And then he's doing this True Detectives with Matthew McConaughey on HBO, or True Lies, one of the two of those, where they play detectives, which looks actually pretty good. So I think he's getting a lot better.
I will say again, from after reading the books, the only reason that I even tolerated Haymitch through the first book was because I'd seen the Hunger Games before I read the books. That's what made me go and read them. And I had Woody Harrelson's face, voice and inflections in mind when I was reading Haymitch's character, because Haymitch is an absolute, even more so than the films. Haymitch is an absolute piece of shit. The guy, he is scum. He's literally packing these kids off to die. There's nowhere near any warmth, heart, or anything until later on. As we go through this book and all the rest of it. Mm-hmm. But in the first, he is just a piece of shit. Until maybe halfway through the arena section. I hated the guy. I just could not live with him. Apart from the fact that I had Woody Harrelson's performance in mind.
The only actor in this that I felt was stale was Donald Sutherland's President Snow. Yeah,
he carried a lot of menace.
I don't think not to me. I just can't find somebody that old and to have that much power. We'll get into when we get into the spoilers. I'll tell you somebody that I would have felt more threatened by.
That's the thing with the president, though. It's not about his physical ability or power.
Oh yeah, I know that.
It's just the sort of power that he commands.
But I just don't see that power in him. I don't feel it. He just looks he looks like grumpy grandpa to me. Like, you kids played in my flower garden again. Damn.
Who pooped on my porch? As you see Jennifer Lawrence riding by.
That's what I expected him to do, was just, when they're all in the Hunger Games, just to run down there with a hose yelling, "Get off my lawn." I really didn't feel threatened by him.
And then it starts raining exploding frogs. He's like, "Oh, right, I don't
He has bigger problems than, some kind of revolution or something. He has to, change his diapers. He needs a colostomy bag that he has to change, Yeah. He's got to make sure he's not dying. I don't feel threatened by him.
Yeah.
I just see old dying grandpa. But yeah, that's about it. What do you guys grade? Come on, grades. What do you think?
I give this movie a solid B. Not to get into spoilers, but I think this movie has a fantastic ending. I like the characters. My cat wants in, so you guys got to take over.
I could actually hear him.
Yeah. Well, he just sits there. But
Let's sit here for the better part of an hour banging at my door if I don't let him in.
no, longer, because we've been in longer phone calls than this, and
he'll-
I've heard it for like 2.5 hours before.
Yeah. He's a bad cat.
It's almost as bad. Listening to that is almost as bad as sending 2.5 hours looking up and to the left.
See, that's the thing. Your experience is solid.
Why? Because I had to look up and to the left.
Yes.
But actually, I'd give this movie an A.
Yeah.
I'd give this movie an A.
Coming in, I was kind of and ahhing whether I was going to go for the A or the low A or the high B. But thinking about it, when you make the points you've made, I'll give it a full A as well. It's probably top 3 films I've seen this year.
Now, since I haven't seen all the movies you guys have, because I've missed a couple, like 4, I think. Yeah, I missed 3 because of the honeymoon, and I missed 1 because of a prior engagement. So I've missed about 4 movies. So this actually is my number 1 movie. Because I can't think of another movie.
Shocker Elysium isn't there. Once you see it.
I haven't seen it. That was one of them.
Once you see Elysium,
film-
it'll all change.
The only thing I can think of that has it competing with that top spot for me is probably Rush.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure maybe Rush would be fighting for it, but I haven't seen it yet. So that's what's keeping Hunger Games.
But to be fair, yeah, this probably is my best film of the year because, as I've said a few times, Rush, great film, not in my normal sort of thing that I will watch. So yeah, this probably actually does pip it.
So we're ready for spoilers now.
Spoilers!
We're gonna spoil the fuck out of this movie. So if you don't want to get spoilers for it, get the fuck out now.
Yeah.
You get the F out!
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool, fuck you. I forget where that's from. Forget where that's from. But I like it. Alright, guys, I think they have ample time to get the fuck out of here. So, let's spoil the shit out of this. Jennifer Lawrence doesn't die.
No.
Shocker. And the movie ends... Basically, the comparison I'd make, because you sort of made it earlier, Gab, with this being kind of like Star Wars, this is definitely the Empire Strikes Back movie, and I love that because the ending is like, the heroes don't really win, the villains have kind of got the upper hand, and the heroes are kind of really battered, broken, and kind of separated, and I love that kind of ending. Yeah. It's so... Movies have a hard time when it comes to sequels and things like that of making you really kind of like feel like it's a series. Like none of the superhero movies have been able to do that because they all kind of have to feel standalone. Yeah. But this movie has me really excited. This is a really good cliffhanger to make me excited for the next Hunger Games because I'm like, what the fuck's gonna happen next? Like the way the movie ends.
Read the book, Chris.
Well, no, I'm not gonna do that. But I like the way the movie ends because you're just like, what the fuck's gonna happen next time? It ends on like such a, you can almost say like unfulfilled because you're just like, there's so much more I want to know. But it's such a great way to get me like, I cannot fucking wait till that next movie. Jennifer Lawrence is gonna wreck fucking house somehow with a bow and arrow.
She should play a young Laura Croft.
She could.
Yeah.
If she, well, I'm gonna sound like an asshole. She'd have to lose a little bit of weight.
I don't think she has to lose weight. I think she needs to get a tit job if she wanted to do Laura Croft.
No, a young Laura Croft. No, like the game that just came out. Yeah, a younger Laura Croft.
She could pull it off.
Yeah, I think she could.
She'd have to lose a little bit of weight and gain a little bit of muscle. I think she'd be fine.
Well, if she gains the weight, or if she gains the muscle, I don't think she'll need to lose the weight. I think those just go hand in hand.
That'll sort itself out, yeah.
But yeah, I think she'd make a good if they made a movie off of the game that just came out later this year. Yeah, she'd be a good role for it.
Exactly what you said. She's a complete badass in this movie. I think
they don't take her power away from her either.
No,
she's a very good reluctant hero.
Yeah, they show her struggling with obviously everything she's gone through, but by the time if you notice in the first Hunger Games, the only person she actually kills is the last guy at the end.
That's the one dude with the arrow.
Well, she hits him with an arrow, and then he falls into the mutts, and they kill him. In this, right from the off, it's like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
No, she kills that one dude, the guy who kills Rue.
Oh yes, he does. Yeah, sorry. He's the only one that she kills in the entire book, and that's her revenge.
Because that's the thing is, this movie starts off showing you that the first Hunger Games wasn't something she just got over. She's horribly affected by it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She goes to shoot a turkey, and she immediately sees it as her hitting another person. And she has a really great scene where she starts freaking out, and Liam Hemsworth, little Thor, baby Thor, is whatever they call him, has to calm her down. It's a really great scene. She's absolutely pitch perfect in it. Like Jennifer Lawrence, I cannot give enough compliments to. She is fantastic in this movie.
Oh yeah.
And the way they tell her character is, she's troubled by the war she's in, but she's had to reluctantly come back into it because she's basically made into this figurehead of a revolution. Without her, it wasn't necessarily her decision, but she has to go along with it because the rest of the districts need her to. And everyone's banding around her, and she's trying to then decide whether or not when the alliance comes into place, how she's going to handle it.
At the very end of this movie, it's just a shot of her face. Mm-hmm. And it's just a shot on her face for a while, and she looks worried, and then slowly it just turns to almost like this pure hatred, and she tells it with just her eyes and a little bit of the lip.
Yep.
And you're just like, oh god, they just pissed off Jennifer Lawrence.
But yeah, I mean, like I say, I know where this story is going, but I can't wait to see it, even still.
I gotta ask you one thing I need to know before the other movie, so Chris might want to not listen to it. I want to know one thing.
Do you want to wait until after, so people who are listening now?
Yes, I'm going to ask this after, but I want Gav to remind me. There's one question I want to ask you.
Right.
It's about a who lives or die thing. It's
ask
one
the
person.
Question and I'll keep it in mind.
So, you want me to ask it now?
Yeah, ask the question and I'll keep it in mind.
Millard, the Peter kid.
Peter. Oh.
Don't say anything.
No.
But will you answer it for me? If Chris wants to know, he can be in the call when you answer it.
Right. I'm not gonna answer it fully because it will spoil the last film completely for you. But the third book, Mockingjay, is all about Peter.
Okay.
He plays a massive role coming up.
Okay.
All right, but what happens to Dr. Narcisse? Is he also as big of a character in the third book?
But okay, there were a couple of things in this movie that I found were extremely predictable. Number one, Lenny Kravitz dies.
I don't know if he's dead. He gets beat, but you don't.
He's pretty much dead. He doesn't come back.
Damn.
Well, now you just spoiled the last movie.
Cinna comes back in the third movie with robot arms.
Yeah, there's this one great scene where Cinna makes her dress turn into a Mockingjay.
Yeah,
which is the symbol of the
revolution.
The rebellion. And President Snow is watching it on TV, and he looks pissed. And it focuses zooms in on Cinna,
and he looks right into the camera.
and he's like, "Yeah, that's my work. How you doing? Thanks a lot." And President Snow's just glaring at this screen, and you think, "Yeah, that boy's dead."
I knew he was going to die in the first movie. I just didn't know when, because his designs are, even though they're not making the revolution.
Yeah,
they're a huge aid to making all this attention being brought onto her.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing.
There's no way that guy could live.
The designers, that's their job in the books. That's their job to make their charges stand out.
Yes, but he's also an asshole.
The only reason it became a problem is because of the revolution thing.
Well, he's also an asshole to the government because he pushes what his designs are.
Yeah,
and that's what ends up getting offed. The other really predictable thing for me was Philip Seymour Hoffman being a good guy.
Yeah. I didn't see that coming. I don't know. I'm so used to Philip Seymour Hoffman always being a douchebag that I was just like, what?
There was enough in the ballroom scene.
Yeah, that's where it told me. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was too personable in that to be a bad guy to me.
Yeah, there was no menace. If you've got a bad guy doing that sort of thing with the hero, there's usually venom in the voice. There's a bit of acid, but there was nothing there. It was really nice to her.
But when he's in the scenes where he's controlling the game, because he's the game maker guy. When he's in the control room making the games, he's the villain. There's my villain. And I'm like, but he's the good guy, so he can't be my villain. Because the president's not a villain, he's an old guy wanting a custody bag change.
But he's playing the president the entire time, which is fantastic.
But yeah, he put in a very good role. I hope he's in the next one a lot more, the next few, too. Because I think he puts in a lot of good screen time when he's in there. He commands that the camera when he's in there.
just to check, since we're kind of clarifying who's dead or not, is Dr. Narcisse alive in the next movie?
Yes.
Okay. Because, the way it ends, they show him with the life support thing, so I assume so, but I just wanted to clarify.
Oh, he was breathing.
Yeah. Basically, from what I understand, they mention it at the end of the film that Joanna and Peter were captured by the
government.
The government. The Doc... Sorry, BT, as he's actually called. He
Doc
was...
Narcisse?
Yeah. Him and Katniss were picked up by the machine, and Finnick is also in there as well. That's pretty much it. There are no surprise deaths between books.
Okay. Shit, I wonder what happens to poor old Effie. You're like, oh, don't worry, you get that pretty quickly. It's like the next movie just opens up with her on a cross. You're like, okay. Looks like shit got real for Effie real quick.
But there's actually not a whole lot to spoil in this movie, really. I mean, Chris, I understand where every once in a while you're like, you just got to experience this movie. I don't want to spoil too much. And I kind of feel that way with this movie.
Yeah.
But then again, there's such amazing scenes like with the Mockingjay scenes.
That
was awesome.
The scene, with the actual Mockingjays in the games itself.
Yeah, where they're running into there, knowing, hearing the screams and shit like that.
That was amazing.
This is the thing. A lot of this, the only things I picked out are the things that they didn't mention from the books. Those actually in the thing weren't actually Mockingjays; they were Jabberjays.
Yeah, that's what they're calling them.
And they mention it in the film, so it's enough to distract me from it. If they'd just let people think that's Mockingjay, that's fine, because it's a mockingbird, But a Jabberjay, in fact, the Jabberjays, the monkeys. The dogs from the first one, and also the tracker jackets, the bees from the first one.
Yeah.
All four of those, and a good few that is going to be that are going to need to go into before they get to the next film, are actually genetic weapons. Every single one of them. They're not natural creatures. They're all genetically engineered leftovers from the War of Independence, basically, in this film.
You were talking about this somewhere. You were talking to us about this somewhere. I don't think it was on stream though.
Yeah, the Jabberjays are basically their whole role. Hello?
You're here.
Oh, the whole role is
something.
The whole role is that they were intelligence agents. Basically, they'd be sent over to record and mimic what people were saying, on the enemy lines. Then they'd fly back, repeat it, and then the enemy were smart enough to realize what was going on, so they'd feed them false information. So the government abandoned them. They were supposed to not be, that's it, they're done. But they started breeding with local birds, so you get mockingjays instead, which is like a crossbreed of them both. Yeah. It's a minor thing. They don't have to go into that, but they did enough to point out that these are a different thing.
Yeah. I heard them say Jabberjays, but I said Mockingjay because it was...
Yeah, exactly. They call them Mockingjay. Sorry, they call them Jabberjays, but then, there's Mockingjays and all that stuff. These little things like this is what gets to me. They in the first film, I picked it out because they said about 5 different times, tracker jackets, they're deadly. They're deadly. They'll kill you. They're deadly. Okay, why are they deadly? What are they?
They're bees.
They're not, though. They're genetically engineered weapons.
But they're bees.
And it kind of, without going into that, it kind of leaves what you were saying, the president doesn't really carry that much weight behind him because we haven't seen how much of a threat other than a few guys in white Judge Dredd uniforms.
Well, the military I could find threatening.
Yeah.
But the president himself, nah.
But no, the government, this whole, system they've got in place features these military guys, features weapons, features genetically engineered, creatures. It's really in depth how far they go in.
Nobody has a printer running. I don't know what you're talking about.
There is a bit of a background buzz, but I think it's...
Probably just me and my shit mic. I'll have to get a new one.
There's a few little pieces that I wish they had included. They moved the order around a little bit. When they found out that this 75th games that they call the Quarter Quell, every 25 years they throw in special rules. Mm-hmm. In this, they made it a little bit too obvious that it was just basically fucking over the current winners.
Yeah.
In the book, there's basically they draw it randomly. Obviously, every single one in there was Katniss is going back in the Hunger Games.
You're like, and this one, The previous winners re-enter the Hunger Games. Like in this one, if your name's Katniss, you automatically in the Hunger Games. And so it's like, if you're played by Jennifer Lawrence, sorry, but you're back in the games.
But they didn't just stand there and just announce it. Yeah, we're doing this. And they also found out about it while they were on the train. And there's a great sequence where they're basically learning about who else could be in this event. They're going back through tapes of all the living victors and all this stuff and how they won. And there's a great little scene where they actually realise that Haymitch is a current victor as well. And he never really speaks about his time in the games. And it turns out he's basically ashamed of his time. Because, you know, a little bit later on when Peter hits the wall and ends up almost dying?
Yeah.
Basically, that's how Haymitch won his games. He hid until the end of it. Somebody charged him, he ducked, they hit the wall and killed themselves. And he's always been ashamed of it because he didn't win it honourably or something like that. So he hides his tapes, he refuses to let them in and all this sort of stuff. And it gives him a lot more character. That's when I started liking the character because he realised he wasn't... That's why he drank. You know, he didn't win the games, he just survived them.
Yeah.
And
well, it's kind of like the one Meth Heads. They just survived it also.
Yeah, exactly. The game basically... the whole thing basically gives Haymitch a lot more depth. And like you say, yeah, the meth heads, they went into the drugs, he went into alcohol.
Yep. Well, that makes sense. That makes sense.
A little bit I wish they'd have left in, but, you know.
That would have been another 20 minutes.
Exactly, yeah.
There's a lot to get into, though. But, no, I think there's some cool things we didn't get to see, but I guess that's also your advantage seeing the books, too. I wouldn't mind
you
seeing
can't see a book, you read a book.
Read a book, whatever. Fuck
I've seen this book, I know everything in it.
Like, I would like to see more on, like, how Dr. Narcisse and Joanna basically got to their kind of victories. They explain it briefly, but you don't get to see a whole lot. But I just like the way they kind of characterize everyone in this, even if you don't get to see a whole lot of them. Like, Dr. Narcisse, as I mentioned, the first time you see him, he's just, like... They're basically doing like the show offs portion of like the preparing for the games where everyone's like, you know, fucking doing your training sessions, and it's like him and his district's female winner, and they're just sitting there being like, they're just, you know, like nerdily laughing because they're like, they think we can't see the invisible barrier up there. And it shows that this guy is really meticulous. He has a very sharp mind. He's very very intelligent. And when they kind of get to the point in the game where he's like, I have a plan. His plan looks like it's just something kind of simple, like, oh, I'm going to use electricity to, you know, ignite some water and electricity.
Yeah, that's
and I was like,
that's how he won.
They do say that's how he won.
That's how he won the last one.
Everyone at the same time.
That's how he won the last one, and this is his plan. This one, I was like, well, that's kind of disappointing. I was expecting something a little bit bigger. Until you find out, oh no, he has actually a much, much bigger plan. But you just don't get to know that part until you find out he actually did manage to succeed in doing it.
But aren't you glad they didn't tell you that he was doing that?
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's so well done because you're like, oh wait, no, this fucker is that goddamn brilliant and did have a crazy good plan in place.
That's one thing. They've gone away from the books because obviously, if you're not aware, the books are written completely in first person. It's all from Katniss's point of view. So all these side bits we see between other characters don't exist in the books because, you know, she's not there to witness them. And it's these little extra plans and things they work out that... hang on, I've lost my train of thought there.
Mid-conversation, you just
Where was I going with that? I'm getting old. I don't know.
I can tell by all your gray hair. Oh, Grandpa.
But he's... What was I going? Sorry, just remind me, Chris. What were you saying? It was about BT, wasn't it?
About how he had a really good plan that we didn't get to know about. Like he told us what his plan supposedly was, and then you find out he has a bigger plan, and it adds a lot more credence to the fact this dude's a smart motherfucker.
So basically, the first film was the books are all written from the first person. So anything that Katniss knows, you know. If she doesn't know it, you don't know it. And that whole section of the film, this whole rebellion is deliberately kept away from her. So she can't know about it, and it drags you back into where the books are. You know, you don't know because she doesn't know, and it's all revealed as it goes on. We as people can start thinking, oh, okay, see where that's going. She's none the wiser because she's Katniss, and she doesn't learn anything in the books.
Yeah, I mean,
she's surprised by everything, but
the twist at the end where it's like, oh no, Hammett or Haymitch. Yeah, when you find out, oh no, Philip Seymour Hoffman's not only a good guy, but all these other people are alive and they're all working together in an alliance to take down the government.
Half of the contestants were aligned to get her out.
Yeah,
they said
it was all basically half the people were there to keep her alive. They had all united on that front of keeping her alive. Mm. And people who are left are basically those who managed to survive the games. Everyone else who wasn't on that planet is dead. I guess maybe beyond the last 2 careers. I don't know if the last 2 careers ever die.
I believe they did.
Okay.
The only people that are left are the people that are on their side.
Yeah, well, I think the 2 career guys. I don't know. I don't think their deaths are ever mentioned, but I don't think they survived. They never come back.
Okay.
They're not in the 3rd.
So they're dead.
Yes.
Yeah. Or
that's it. That's it. Sorry.
Around.
Going back to the mutts, the beasts again. That's the problem the point I was going to make about them. That's the problem. As far as I was concerned, anybody out from the outside looking in at those, they're creatures with powers. They made Pokemon.
Oh yeah, well the dogs in the first one are confusing as shit.
You know what the dogs are supposed?
The old lady's dead as shit.
You know what the dogs are supposed to be? They were supposed to be genetically engineered so that they had the eyes of the same eyes as every dead contestant. There was a dog for every contestant that's in the game, and when they died, they're the only ones that got released because they marketed it in the thing as the vengeful spirits of the dead come to take out whoever's left alive. So that when they got the cameras in close and zoomed in on them making a kill, they made a good point of it that one of the dogs trying to kill Katniss had Rue's eyes, which freaked the fuck out.
Now I have a question. This is a spoiler for the first Hunger Games, but did she ever have another interaction with Thresh or Thread or Thrash?
No.
Whatever the District 7 guy was.
Thresh is the one that saved her.
Yeah, he saved her, and they never have another interaction before that, before he gets, like, unceremoniously killed by dogs off screen.
No, the dogs just take him out off screen.
That's so lame.
Yeah.
I was expecting something in the movie when he's like, this ain't over 12. I was like, oh, these guys are going to have a fucking showdown. And he just dies by dogs immediately. You're like,
actually, no, thinking about it, they might do, but he gets pulled down. They don't really say much, only that, I think they just see each other as they're running from these dogs. And he gets pulled down.
See, that would actually have worked. I would have loved to have seen that. And this is just like, even when she's going to like do her little speech, she's like, I didn't really know Thresh. Kind of weird. He said he was going to get me, and then he just got killed by dogs immediately. But, I'm sure he was a great guy.
Marvelous. They all
have a huge dick if he came from here, the Black District.
Well, that's the thing as well. With the districts, it's not really explained. They literally divide all the districts up into really stereotypical thing. That's why Mags was making a fishhook and Finnick fights with a spear, with a trident, and can swim. Yeah, it is a weird thing. Is that in the book that District 11 is just the Black District? It's the farming district. They work the fields. And then you have the lumber district, which is the one chick with her axe. Yep. Yeah. And the wood thing. District 12 is the coal mining district. Yep. I assume maybe has to do with science. Yeah, basically BT's district is the technology. 1 and 2 are the career guys. They're the ones they call them that because they're the only ones that regularly volunteer for the games. Yeah, they train people up because that's how they become celebrities. That's where all the peacekeepers and those kind of guys come from, and the weaponry. I can't remember the rest of them. There's one that does the stonework and all that sort of thing. And then there's District 13, which they mention. Mm-hmm. And towards the end, we're told we're going towards it. Yeah, that was a really great reveal, too. We're going to District 13. I thought 13 was destroyed. And there's a little spoiler towards, because it's one of the things that's revealed fairly early. Do you know what District 13 used to be famous for? Nuclear power. Who was the kid in the first one who would paint? What was the camouflage kid? That was Peter. That was Peter. Peter did the camouflage. We didn't do anything with that. We just completely forgot he was able to. He was that talented in this movie. Yeah, he does the drawing of Rue on the floor to showcase his talents.
Oh, was that him? I thought it was
Yeah.
some dick who did
Oh
that.
yeah, because he was the one who was out before him.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
why that's the look. Because he gave her the look on the way back, the way out.
Yeah. But yeah, well, that's the thing. That sort of situation never comes up. He only did the camouflage thing to survive when he was singled out. That never really.
Well, I
happened.
still would have liked to see another thing to it in this
Yeah.
one. But then again, they already had a camouflage team, which was the crackheads,
Yes.
the meth heads. So we're like, we can't repeat that twice.
We look
But
stupid.
the whole layout of the arena in this one I thought was really good. I was really surprised, well, again, reading the books and how intricate this
God, the
this
clock
arena
design.
was. With the clock design, it was brutal all the way through.
I liked it. I like the fog. I
Yeah,
liked
the poison fog.
The fog was the only thing I didn't like, because to
Actually,
me it was like, oh, watch out for the makeup gas! No! Like, oh, don't worry.
Yeah.
Water clears the makeup gas, just wash it off!
Again, this is one of those things. It's not explained. It's what it is. It's a genetic. It's another mutt. Essentially, is the gas. It's genetically engineered poison that, if you're exposed to it, can kill you pretty quickly. But if you can get to water, it completely nullifies it. It's a deliberate genetic makeup of the gas or something. The washing off blisters was a bit weird, but
That's what I meant when I was like, it's the makeup gas, because they had to get the water to wash off all the new makeup they got put on.
yeah.
Monkeys were all right.
Monkeys were pretty intense.
Yeah. There was the tsunami,
Yeah, the wave.
the wave, and the what was the one? The lightning
Raining
strike.
blood that we never got to see.
Raining blood. Yeah, that was fun.
I would have liked to have known where the fuck that water came from for the tsunami.
I presume they just created. They can create anything in there, right?
More or less.
Well, that's never been explained.
I mean, that's how they create the dogs and shit.
No, they let the dogs in.
Yeah, the dogs are real creatures.
Yeah.
All the things in there are real creatures.
Yeah, they
Yeah, but
let
they
them
cre-
in.
But
They just let them
create-
in.
Oh,
They do. They're genetic. They're grown in a lab.
Yeah, but like they teleport them in and shit.
No, they just opened a gate and let them in.
What's it was like fucking like, you know, when Yu-Gi-Oh cards used to have battles, like the holograms just came in. That's why I just assumed they were, because that's
No.
kind
If
of
I
how.
remember correctly,
Think of it like a gladiatorial event. They open a gate and they go out.
Yeah, remember when they came into the arena, Chris? They all come from underground, don't they? Those tubes. So there's a full cave. There's a full complex underneath the arena. They just drop a hatch and let them up.
It's quite interesting.
Shut up, Chris.
I think these things through.
But yeah, I mean, I like this movie. I don't think we can really get into. I don't think there is any other spoilers.
Not really. I mean, not that we have to go into. There's nothing we really want to.
I mean, there's there's stuff you get to dissect, but there's some stuff you kind of just want to say, hey, even if you still had everything spoiled for you, there's still some stuff for you to discover.
Yeah, go and see. Plus, you get to see Woody Harrelson's amused face when Joanna strips in the elevator.
That's a great scene.
I just love.
I really hope there's an unrated version coming out with this movie.
Where they just zoom out a little bit.
Yeah, I'd love that.
Oh my god, since it comes from Katniss' perspective in the book, does she describe what Joanna's tits look like?
I think she does actually.
Oh,
She actually goes into date.
Chris, research, get on that.
I'm gonna read the fucking book now just for that. I'm gonna read this scene, be like, oh, it's so hot, and jerk off, and then be like, what the fuck am I reading this for? Just throw it out the window.
The minute you're finished, you're like, done.
I'm done with this now.
The only other part that they left out that I can remember is there is supposed to be a scene where they meet a. Again, they go. It's just to show how brutal the.
So no boobs in this scene.
No.
Fuck it.
It's to show how brutal the capital is. They meet, the guys that you stand outside the door,
Y'all creepy.
the servant dudes that are just stood around in the background in the hotel scenes.
Yeah.
Every single one of them has had the tongue cut out.
I thought you would say a cunt cut out. I was like,
I nearly did.
Oh, do you know one thing I want to talk
Every
about?
single one has had their tongue cut out. They can't speak. And the one that's actually serving Katniss, she's actually met her before. They were being chased down by a patrol. They've managed to reach District 12, trying to get to 13. This is how we learn about 13 in the books. And she shelters them for as long as she can, but eventually they get caught, and she feels responsible and all the rest of it. And then they realise there's a link between the two, and the servant gets brutally murdered.
Here's the thing: they kill Morgan Freeman in this movie.
Yeah.
I was like, no, not Morgan Freeman. I don't know who that guy was, but that was Morgan fucking Freeman that they just shot in the head. I was
that guy. I was like, was Morgan Freeman in this? I had to like stop and think for a while. I was like, was he a cameo I just didn't catch?
Yeah. Again, they do try and do a lot to show just how brutal the Capitol is.
And they all Jesused up the one guy.
Yeah.
Thor Jr.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they do the thing where they go
Flogging.
from shooting old men in the head and flogging people who dare stand up to them. So, here's our party. Here, have the... Peter goes, oh god, I couldn't eat another bite. And she goes, oh, here, have this.
Mm-hmm.
What's this? It's to make you sick so you can eat more. Okay, you do realise there are people starving in every other place in the country, right?
Oh yeah, that's some of that stuff is what makes them hate the fucking Capitol, you know?
Yeah. Like that's the stuff that kind of really sets in what
it's
kind
the
of
complete
world
waste of everything, basically.
I think
It's
Peter
right.
actually makes a comment on it, doesn't he?
Yeah,
Peter or Jennifer Lawrence's character actually does make a comment on that.
Yeah, Peter does. He makes a comment like there are people starving out there in the district and they drink this stuff or something like that.
Yep.
Then you can tell he's disgusted when he's just like...
It's like one of the only scenes he
I think
actually
I
really
have
acts and has
passed
feelings in.
You know, he's basically, here, have this, and she's standing out in his glasses like, time for a dance.
Yeah, time for let's go dancing. Just pushes the glass back, and the guy's like, okay, takes a sip, and 2 seconds later, it's him in the bathroom. Like, oh my god, I can't wait for more lobster pops.
Oh dear. But yeah, I mean, this is definitely a film you should definitely go see.
Oh yeah, see this fucking film.
It's a long film, so take a sleeping bag, provisions, emergency rations.
Make sure you're not somewhere where you're looking up and to the left.
Yeah.
Get some food, or else it's going to be the Hunger Games for you.
Pee before you go in.
Yeah.
Try and drop a deuce.
Make sure you feed your pets.
Yes. Redirect your mail to the theater.
Say goodbye to to loved ones just in case.
Yes. And also, you might want to leave like 13, 14 birthday gifts out for your kids if you have any, because they might be a different age when you get out of it.
Yeah.
And say goodbye to your grandparents.
Pay your rent first.
Can you imagine the state people are going to be in when this series is over, and they release a DVD, or even if they do what they did with
Lord of the Rings,
the Marvel thing, where they show all the movies in a row through the day.
No, what I want to see what they do is if there's going to be a 15-hour recut of all this,
into
like
one
the
long
Lord of
movie.
the Rings. So it's 4 movies, 36 hours.
Do you think the guys behind this thought, that Lord of the Rings thing, that was really long, wasn't it?
Yes, and bring the book with you so you can read about the boobies you don't see.
Yeah. Like during the one scene, you just find the booby scene in the book and read it.
Yeah.
You have to be a chick, think about another chick's boobs. It's fucking glorious, man.
I think
I usually pay for that on the internet.
I think she does actually include a little scene because obviously Katniss is still a teenage girl, so she's like comparing to this older champion. It's like,
oh, she's like, oh man, my tits aren't like that. Mine are just
pretty much, yeah.
that voluptuous. And she's like rotating her fucking index finger around her nipple, like that big. Look at them
Chris, wake up! Come on.
Focus.
Thought we were gonna lose you there for a moment in your own little fantasy world. Chris is lost to us, guys.
I'm like a fucking Secret World of Walter Mitty, except instead of going on Avengers, that's just like that's where chicks start making out with each other.
You just have lesbian fantasies then.
Yeah,
How are we all creepy? It's Chris. Fuck you, Marvelous.
So I just disappear for like 20 minutes in a lesbian fantasy. I'm imagining people are like, hello, the light's been green for 10 minutes. I'm like, huh? Oh.
When is Mockingjay due out? It's being filmed now, so I'm guessing what? Back into 14?
It's set to come out, the end of 14.
Okay, so they're going to do it year on year on year, basically. I'm guessing. Oh, then again, they're filming both at the same time now, so they might...
Well, Lord of the Rings did all 3 at the same time, and they still did it every year.
Yeah, I suppose.
And I think Harry Potter filmed the first 2, or the last 2 in a row also.
Yeah.
To keep the kids looking young.
So basically, I would recommend, if you're going to go see this, see the first one, see this, give the books a chance. You'll probably be able to pick up all 3 for like $10 now or something, Shibar.
Now, is this in British goofy money or American right money?
Well, I got all 3 for £10. which is what, $16.
$65 American.
Well, probably about $14, $15. So by now you'll probably be able to get all three for about $10.
Or wait for Black Friday or Gray Thursday and get them for even cheaper.
Yes,
5 cents.
Read them. Yes, okay, you're going to spoil the third and fourth films, but you'll still want to see how they play it out on the screen. And you'll have these characters in your mind now to be able to relate to the books, because I think that is missing a little bit in the books. You're not
of course,
really
every
involved
movie
in the
that's
characters.
based off of a book is going to be missing a lot, you know?
Yeah. No, I mean the books, if there's anything missing from the books, I didn't really like many of the characters and I think I wouldn't have liked them even, less if I hadn't have had the film in mind.
Yeah, you got a context to it.
Exactly, yes. You've got the context. You can see the background. You can see the world it's in. You can see the characters, so it helps with that. But it's
Creepy
definitely
Chris
worth
is
it.
always creepy, Chris.
Don't hate.
I'll hate. But next week we are seeing blanking.
Old boy.
Old Boy. Yes, you are right.
Old boy.
Old boy. But before we go, I talked about Dallas Buyers Club a little bit.
Oh yeah. You're right. You wanted to talk about Dallas Buyers. We probably should have done that review before. Should have reminded me, jackass.
No, I didn't want to interrupt things. We were on a flow. But no, I saw the Dallas Buyers Club, and I'll keep this relatively short, so you guys don't have to
See it. Done.
But Dallas Buyers Club, for those unaware, is a movie. It's based on a true story of Ron Woodruff, who is an electrician down in Texas, down near Dallas. He's a homophobe. He is a racist. He's kind of your stereotypical bigoted sort of Texan Southern kind of guy. Mm-hmm. But he finds out very quickly into the movie that he has AIDS. He has contracted HIV, not through homosexual sex. It was apparently he had sex with. He basically had a three-way, and the other male partner in the three-way seemed to be an extremist, sort of drug user, and that's how he got it from there. But because he gets HIV, all of his friends despise him now because they just assume that he's gay, and that's how he got the HIV, through sex with a man. And the story is him kind of coming to grips with the fact that he has AIDS, trying to find medication for it, and finding that most of the medicine that's being produced and marketed in the U.S., this AZT, is actually more harmful to AIDS patients than helpful. It destroys their immune system and just kills them. So it's him finding out that there's all these good drugs to help people with AIDS, but he has to go through legal means to get them, and by doing so, he opens the Dallas Buyers Club, where he can then distribute these drugs when he gets them to those within the Dallas area who also have AIDS. So it's about this guy who goes from being this one kind of closed-minded, bigoted guy to being someone who's heavily involved in the AIDS community. His partner is a transvestite gay guy played by Jared Leto, who that's the thing. If you've heard about this movie, one of the things you've probably heard is Matthew McConaughey and Jared Leto lose an immense amount of weight for this role.
They Christian Bale it.
Yeah, they Christian Bale it, absolutely. They are stick thin in this movie. I applaud them for that dedication to it, because they absolutely just look like they're about to fall apart and die. But this movie is absolutely carried on a huge weight by Matthew McConaughey. He is absolutely brilliant in this movie. He is probably my actor of the year right now. He absolutely just hits this movie out of the park with his role. It has a very strong story to this. There's some really great moments to it. I don't want to spoil too much of this one, since I'm the only one who's seen it thus far, and I don't want to spoil anything for you guys if you ever get the chance to see it. But it's an absolutely great movie. Has a great story, and some phenomenal acting, great ending to it. So I highly recommend it, guys. If you get the chance, go see Dallas Buyers Club. I don't know when it's out in theaters. I had to basically go check my theater and found out it was out this week. So if you get the chance, check your theater out, see if it's there. If not, I'd call and ask if they're going to get it, because it's not going to be a widely released movie, but I highly recommend getting to see it if you get the chance.
Your rating?
I give it a solid A. It's absolutely a great movie.
Okay.
It's got Jennifer Garner in it, so I'll give it a go.
She's actually the only weak part. I hated Jennifer Gardner in this movie. Yeah,
she's weak in a lot of things that she's in my mind.
Yeah, it's not her character. Her character's solid. It's just her. She's just not very good. She's the one thing that drags down the acting in this, because McConaughey and Leto everyone else are just so spot on. It's for her to kind of be almost like kind of amateurish, like awkward, not completely into the moment that kind of pulls me out of certain scenes. But other than that, everyone else is fantastic.
One of my favorite films not favorite films, but one I can watch quite happily is The Invention of Lying with Ricky Gervais. And she plays the love interest in that, and she doesn't seem all that. She's good. She
I thought you were going to say Electra for a moment. I would have been like, I'm going to fly over to Britain land and punch you in the face.
She doesn't seem all that interested in that too much either. She just does a bit of...
She just looks like she's there all the time, you know? She's just there.
Yeah. Like she's waiting for a bus.
But no, I cannot recommend Dallas Buyers Club. It's also a funny movie, too. Like, they very well put moments of hilariousness in it. Just one small spoiler for it, but there's one moment that made me laugh. It's
out loud?
Yeah, actually made me laugh out loud. Matthew McConaughey is like back in his office, and he's like, the way he has like pictures of chicks set up on the wall, so he's like trying to jerk off, and he's like going from one picture to the next, and he gets like the fourth picture, it's a picture of Boy George that Jared Leto left in there, and it's just him like looking at this guy's like, oh, god damn it, Raina!
Hey, actually, Chris, that's a good. I'll just point that out while we're doing it. Dallas Buyers Club actually made it into the top 10 opening weekend.
Good for it, because it didn't have a wide release.
2.8 million.
Good for them. It's a great movie. Deserves it.
Yeah.
2.8 million on a what budget? I lost my thingy to tell me.
And it's like,
as we're all going to Box Office Mojo at the same time to try to find out.
Opening week, budget $5.5 million. It's made $6.5 so far in the USA.
So there you go.
So it's made a budget back?
Yeah.
Awesome. It's not actually even showing on my list. Holy, where is it? Dallas Buyers Club. There it is. It's not even listing a budget for this movie here.
I've just got it on IMDb, so whether it's reliable or not, I don't know, but it's there.
It's probably around that amount. There's not a lot of special effects or anything. And obviously, they didn't spend a lot on marketing, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, release date limited, wide November 22nd.
Yeah. It's not actually out until February over here, so we'll see.
So there you go. Dallas Buyers Club. Go check it out if you get the chance.
Hang on a second. Oh, no, never mind. I was reading the wrong thing.
Okay.
But next week is Old Boy. Chris, you know more about this movie already than I do.
I've only read into the third volume of the manga, so I don't know too much yet.
I may be on WMR this week.
Well, you've got a lot to catch up on if you're planning to.
I got a lot of reading I need to do.
You got a lot. It's about an hour per volume for me, and it's 8 volumes long.
Oh, I know I read faster than you.
Okay.
You're entering into the world of anime and manga.
Well, anime I can watch.
Yeah.
Manga I have to read, and for me, when it comes to a manga, if the art's not good enough, I just completely lose it.
Yeah.
I am, because I love drawing, and when I see bad art or not art up to my standard, I'm just like, bad, done. Right, turn off now.
Brain gone now.
It's same thing with anime,
Yeah.
Just turns off. But so we are going to be. I'll be probably a part of that. Maybe not. But we will have Nick on here next week.
Yes, because I won't be. We don't get Old Boy for another week.
Yeah. So we're losing Gav, but we're gaining Nick for 1 week. Gav, if you don't know already, but you're permanently a part of this team now.
Yay!
A matching tattoo.
I still haven't received my bonus package.
I don't give a shit. You're not getting one.
Oh.
Not until you're here for a year.
Okay.
Which means Chris and I don't even have one yet.
No, I was gonna say, shit. I finally, just this week after Dallas Buyers Club, finally got my free movie ticket. Being a part of the Regal Club movie club.
I'd love it if it was for City of Bones.
No, because I could use it for anything. I managed to use it for fucking
Hunger Games?
Hunger Games, but I still had to pay $1.50 servicing fee. I was like, what the fuck? This ain't a free fee.
Free my ass.
I was like, this sucks. But no, it only took, 6 months of movies to get a free movie at the fucking... And that's after using my card to pay for some of my sister's movies and shit. It's fucking ridiculous, man.
Seriously, dude, you need the deal I've got, man.
I want to do that deal. I want to pay $100 and see how many fucking movies a year I want.
Is it a monthly charge or is it a yearly charge?
I pay £17 a month. So it works out around about £170. It works out a fair chunk.
That's about. You said £16.
Well, it's $16.99, so 17 a month.
So that's about. I would say about 26 US.
Something like that.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah, I'd do that in a fucking heartbeat. That's like a free movie every month.
Yeah, exactly. Well, for me, if I go to the cinema and watch a film at peak time with all the rest of it, and it's at least what £9. It's £9 just to go see a film these days.
Well, that's actually shit for me because I can see movies for $3.
Well, yeah, that's okay. for me, going from £9 to paying 17 a month, it's like, okay, if I see more than one, I'm making my money back.
Yeah. Well. But, yeah. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing. Next week, we'll be doing Old Boys. We'll have Nick Cullis Freeman. We'll be missing Gav. Oh, bye, yes. Gav. We'll see you the week after that for whatever is up.
I don't think we'll see him the week after that. I think he's gone for Out of the Furnace as well. Unless he has something coming out in his theater he wants to come on to discuss.
I don't think what's it called? Out of the Furnace?
Yeah. I don't think Out of the Furnace is out for you that week.
Checking.
Because you said before it wasn't.
I don't think it is. Hang on.
But he's back like for 3 weeks
Release
straight
date.
after
that. 6th of December, USA. Hang on. UK. No, we get the 31st of January, so no.
Yeah, so he's not gonna be on that.
You could pull a Chris and see a different movie and just come on and do a.
I don't think there's anything I really want to see in the next couple of weeks.
Take a chance on something.
That doesn't mean shit, Gav. They
Go
saw
see the Nelson
Freebirds.
Mandela movie.
You guys saw Freebirds.
I don't think we're getting that. Hang on. UK. Yeah. I don't know where the list is for UK release.
Don't you guys have like UK internet where you can just look up UK stuff?
Oh, what about Homefront? Are you seeing Homefront?
I don't even know about that.
That's a Jason Statham movie. That's gonna be horrible as fuck. Because it's Jason Statham playing Jason Statham.
Yeah.
Statham.
Jason Statham.
Ooh! Or, oh god, please let it happen. Please let Black Nativity be out here.
Chris, I am still wanting to send you to that.
I know.
Okay, Carrie's just coming out this weekend.
Carrie?
Yep. Huh. UK cinema release, Carrie. Oh yeah, Freebirds is out this week.
Ooh.
You gotta see it, man.
After that, Old Boy is coming soon, but it's not out for another week or so.
You gotta go see Freebirds, man. Dude, you gotta go see it, man. Are you sighing in pain or ecstasy?
It's excitement. This is him orgasming. So look at himself.
Well, I more thought it would be a little more like a if it was that.
He jerks off like an elephant.
Yeah. Just sounds like a wounded seal.
I'll see what's out.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, guys. Thanks everybody for tuning in. No Cope or Die.
No, one of the other great trilogies. Like you think something like Star Wars. Everyone says, well, you know what I mean. Everyone said Empire. Everyone initially said Empire.
Shut.
Okay. Trilogies that are telling an overlying story. A lot of people say the middle one is the slowest because it's basically it's the exposition entry.
It's the exposition dump for the third movie.
It is, yeah. So it's got to have all the fallout from the first one, and then got to set up the climax in the later films.
And I think they do it very well.
Yeah.
Oh, I absolutely agree. I love the story in this one. I thought it was much better than the first one. I thought they kind of hit the points they needed to a lot clearer. I kind of was able to get a lot more of what they were trying to go for with the revolution and everything like that, and setting up what this movie's real critique is, and that's our modeling, artistic sort of substance over or style over substance. Big drama, reality television, that sort of culture, a big critique of that. And I thought this movie did a lot better job of that. While then introducing, hey, let's have a whole bunch of people kill each other as entertainment.
Yeah. Off screen.
So, yeah, it's a little bit on screen, but it is a PG-13 movie still, so you still don't get a whole lot of
gore.
Yeah.
Well, there's no gore, there's no blood in this movie.
No.
Yeah.
Like I say, I've come into this having read the books and knowing all the ins and outs. They have left a lot out of this from the books. Some of it I understand why. It's not necessary to the story. If you want to see the full length of it, go read the books. It's not really spoilers, but there's a whole bit with the when they're getting ready for the tour. You briefly meet the makeup crew again from the first film.
First talk to you.
Okay.
I other than the length of this movie, which is ridiculously long.
2 hours 38 minutes. This is almost a 3-hour long movie.
Yeah. I believe there could have been things cut from this, and it would be fine. I don't think it needs to be that long, and I think that's my only gripe to this movie.
I actually don't mind the length because I had
Of course you don't, Chris.
I watched the first Hunger Games. I only watched that Friday night is when I got the chance to finish it.
Mm-hmm.
So I basically came into Hunger Games 2 with Hunger Games 1 right on the mind. And I had a lot of problems with the first Hunger Games. I thought it was really poorly paced. I didn't care much for the director at all. And a lot of those problems that I found in it were fixed in the second one. I think because the movie, even though it was long, I thought it was expertly paced.
I actually think it had a different director.
It's a different director this time. They got rid of the first one, thank God. I just felt the movie flowed a lot better when the actual Hunger Game itself comes around. The characters you meet, you actually get to experience them, so you actually have an emotional attachment to them, which is what the one didn't have.
And I don't know if this. In this one, they have more. There's more of an alliance-y type thing going on than in the first one.
There's more of a story to the game itself than there was in the first one, yes.
So, of course, you're going to get to know the champions a little better.
But the way they paced it, because they could have...
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, they just paced it better for me to be able to get these characters, to understand their stories, and to follow up on them.
Well, as I said in the warm-up we've just been doing there, the problem with this film is that it's basically taking that middle segment. It's not to compare it to someone starting on the hour every hour.
Yeah. Was there any there wasn't 3D for this movie?
Yeah, there was. Right now the thing says IMAX 3D. The thing I have up on the
yes, it's 2D in normal cinemas. But I think it's only IMAX in 3D.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna say I don't remember there being 3D showings in my theater. But it was an interesting experience.
Chris, give us the rundown.
So, Hunger Games: Catching Fire is the sequel to the first Hunger Games movie that came out last year, starring Jennifer Lawrence. This movie picks up with the last one left. Do you need a tissue or something? But the last film left off where, spoilers for the first Hunger Games, if you haven't seen it, Katniss lives. The Hunger Games, and now they are on their tour around these 12 districts to celebrate their victory. But upon doing it, they see that there is revolution brewing among the districts, and President Snow is none too happy about that. So to quell this uprising, he has issued a new Hunger Games featuring a brand new twist on the rules that is going to place a lot of unhappiness amongst the people, and is going to put Katniss... I mean, fuck it. If you've seen the trailer, you know she's in the goddamn Hunger Games again. So she's fucking in the Hunger Games again. So, it's Katniss back in the Hunger Games, and the games are more lethal, more terrifying, and the contestants are much stronger.
But, you know what? Chris, we had our call after the movie last night. I actually warmed up to this movie more than I did when I first...
Fucking sleep. It's not going to enjoy the movie. It's not going to be like, Lenny Kravitz really did a good performance this time. No, it's a fucking baby. It's going to cry because there's loud noises going around.
Put a little whiskey. Give him a little whiskey.
I discovered that your average teenager is, it refuses to work with anything unless it's being a dick. Mm-hmm. Some random person in the audience just coughed, just cleared his throat. From up behind me to my left. Right down the front to the right. Shut the fuck up!
Oh, what they were doing, like the one person cough, so it's all cough in the chain thing?
Yeah, basically chained all the way around the goddamn... for about a good 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Yeah.
So we all had pretty bad movie experiences.
I don't want to say mine's bad, but this is definitely a much different theater experience than I generally have because there are actually people at my movie.
Yeah.
This is the movie that like allows me to understand why the fuck my theater stays open all year round. Like, I don't know how you guys stay in business. And I'm like, oh, because fucking Hunger Games comes out and you sell out 3 fucking showtimes happening concurrently.
Oh, you only had 3 theaters showing it, or 3 screens?
There were probably more.
We had 6.
But I mean 3 going on at the exact same time, like starting at the exact same time, within like 10 minutes of each other.
We had 6 going out of 12.
Yeah.
I think mine. I don't know how many individual screens they have because they rotate it. But this film was starting at least, obviously taking into account how long it is. This I think his first name was Meta, but yeah, he's changed his first name to World Peace.
He's an idiot.
Hunger Games.
Yes. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. We all saw Hunger Games this week. Chris, you saw it yesterday.
Yes, I saw it yesterday evening with my sister and her husband.
But this movie was fucking packed. I've never seen a theater this whole time we've been doing this show. I have not seen it this full. I literally went into the theater. I don't know if your theaters are set the same way ours is, but they kind of come out the sides, and you kind of, you're going through like basically like a football tunnel. Mm-hmm. And when you come out, you're at the base, where the bottom floor is, and then you turn around and you see the stairs going upwards to all the bleachers. And for us, packed. So we looked in front of us. We're like, "Fuck it, we're sitting in the flat row, in the very front, and we picked one of the side rows." So this was a horrible mistake because I didn't know this movie was 2.5 hours long, and I spent the whole movie looking up and to the left.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, see, I felt genuine rage during this movie. If there hadn't been so much killing going on screen, I'd have been doing some myself. This was filled with the usual annoying teenagers that pay all that money and don't actually pay attention to the damn film.
Yeah, our theater was a little bit loud, but it wasn't too annoying.
I had a baby in my theater. Someone brought a goddamn baby in to see Hunger Games.
You shouldn't be able to bring kids up under like the age of 5 into a theater.
I can't. Like, I don't know why you'd bother. Like, all you're gonna do is put fucking earmuffs on that baby and try to like blind it, see like sensory deprive it, and hope it goes to